Our group's going to talk about the Creative Commons, more specifically, what the Creative Commons is and how it works on the internet. So as a general overview, the Creative Commons is an organization that allows for people to legally share and build upon works. They aim to help any individual that is trying to encourage others to reuse works and provide them the platform to do so. They primarily do this through extending licenses to their users, which then in turn allows them to distribute works to others. Now, Jack is going to go into a little bit more detail here on some of the different types of licenses that the Creative Commons offers, how they work, and some other services that they extend to their users as well.
Hi, my name is Jack Scott, and I will discuss the legality of Creative Commons. As Christian just mentioned, Creative Commons creates free public license from a private copyright. So the licenses allow creators to communicate which rights they reserve and which they waive for the benefit of the recipient. Now, transferring a copyright to the public domain can be extremely difficult, which is why the Creative Commons developed the CC0, which will help users transfer to the public domain. The CC0 is a universal instrument that is not adapted to the laws of any particular legal jurisdiction. There's no laws against it. There's nothing that makes it illegal. The CC0 is, for all intents and purposes, just a set of guidelines and rules on how to transfer the copyright to the public domain. Now, doing this, obviously, you relinquish all copyrights and similar rights that the copyright holder has. All the rights go to the public at this point. So anyone can use the copyright without any sort of legal issues. Going past it, the Creative Commons also created the public domain mark, which is a tool that marks what is in the public domain and what isn't. This allows people who are using a symbol for something to know if they're if the symbol is in the public domain. That way, they don't get sued for accidentally using a copyright. Next up, Arjun Lane and Anthony Perrone will describe a legal case between YouTube and Viacom and how the Creative Commons comes into play.
Okay, here's how the YouTube versus Viacom case happened. So on March 13th, 2007, Viacom filed for a $1 billion lawsuit against Google and YouTube, alleging that YouTube had engaged in brazen and massive copyright infringement by allowing users to upload and view hundreds of thousands of videos owned by Viacom without permission. The complaint stated that over 150,000 unauthorized clips of Viacom's programs such as SpongeBob SquarePants, Family Guy, South Park, The Daily Show had been made available on YouTube, and that these clips had been collectively viewed over 1.5 billion times. On June 23, 2010, Judge Stanton granted that Google was protected by provisions of the DMCA. The judge held that while the company undeniably had general knowledge that some copyrighted material had been uploaded by its users, it did not know which clips had permission and which clips did not. Viacom then appealed this ruling. Viacom and other plaintiffs' arguments this time included internal emails from YouTube employees who were aware of infringement, which included specific instances, which district court said could be used as general knowledge, disqualifying YouTube from the safe harbor protection. However, YouTube was ruled as qualified under the safe harbor protection. On April 18, 2013, Judge Stanton issued a final order granting summary judgment in favor of YouTube. They said that YouTube had no actual knowledge of any specific instance of infringement of Viacom's work. He also ruled that YouTube did not have the right and ability to control infringing activity because there is no evidence that YouTube induced its users to submit infringing videos.
Keeping this case in mind, how does it relate to Creative Commons? Well, since Creative Commons abides by the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or DMCA, platforms such as YouTube must remove copyrighted material. However, it is also protected by the Safe Harbors provision, which protects YouTube from infringing user activities. To see how Creative Commons is used in other contexts, here's another case.
In 2010, Gatehouse Media sued That's Great News because they felt that by taking their newspaper reprints and putting them into plaques, that it was both a form of copyright and trademark infringement. Not only that, they felt that when That's Great News then took their products and advertised them online, that it violated a cease and desist order that they had filed for in 2008, in addition to violating the non-commercial and no derivative works limitations built into the Creative Commons license that they held. Now, on the other hand, That's Great News argued that Gatehouse Media filed for the Creative Commons license in bad faith. As we talked about, there are plenty of different Creative Commons licenses that are offered, but felt that they chose the non-derivative works one simply to limit other companies from entering into business ventures. They also argue that by simply taking the newspaper and putting it into their plaques, they did not alter the original in any way. Thus, it could not be considered a derivative work and did not violate the license. Now, it's interesting to see that the verdict for this case was never released, so we don't exactly know how the court felt on both arguments, but I kind of want to wonder what people think that the verdict should be for this case. In any way, I'm going to pass it on to Chris now, who's going to summarize everything that we've heard to this point.
Okay, so welcome to the Creative Commons main page. In order to get here, all you have to do is type into your search bar creativecommons.org and it'll take you straight here. Or you can just Google, Bing, or Yahoo search anything along the lines of Creative Commons, and it'll take you straight here in the first option. Now, the first thing that we're going to show you is how to create derivative works as a YouTube creator or a Vimeo creator. All you have to do is go right here to Use and Remix, and it'll take you to a nice area where you can search the commons for any kind of work that can be made derivative that already is listed in the Creative Commons. So, for instance, we've been making a video for this time being, and let's say you want to find some background noise. All I'll do is press search, and it will show me a menu of different sources that I can look through that have been approved by the Creative Commons. So I can Google web search, I can go through an open clip art gallery, I can go on SoundCloud or Wikimedia, YouTube, anything along those lines. Now, because this is a personal project, I'm not really using this for commercial purposes. So all I can do is uncheck this, and it will expand my search to include things that are not allowed for commercial purposes, but are allowed to be adapted and built upon for personal reasons. Now, because it's background music, I think a good place to start would be SoundCloud. So all you have to do is click on SoundCloud right here, or whatever work you're trying to get from. And just like that, it will search through SoundCloud for all the works that can be derived